Telecom Regulatory Compliance Partners profile. With the enactment of the Telecommunications Act, 2023, India's regulatory framework for telecom services is undergoing a major structural change. The previous licensing-based framework is now being replaced by a unified authorization regime, applicable to a significantly broader spectrum of communication service providers and digital platforms operating over telecom networks. The Department of Telecommunications, DOT, has already released multiple draft rules for public consultation, including Main Telecommunication Service Authorization, Captive Telecommunication Systems, Miscellaneous Telecommunication Services, Migration Rules for Existing License Holders, User Identification and Verification Rules, Restructuring and Acquisition Regulations. These notifications collectively indicate the beginning of a mandatory transition process for both existing and future ecosystem participants. 2. Impact on cloud and API-based communication ecosystem. Under the new framework, authorization requirements extend beyond traditional telecom operators or UL/UL VNO licensees. Any entity that provides or facilitates telecommunication functionality, whether directly or indirectly, may require authorization. Impacted categories include, but are not limited to, CPaaS platforms, UCaaS and hosted PBX providers, cloud telephony and virtual call centers, SMS/voice/WhatsApp/verification API providers, conversational AI voice and chat platforms connected to telecom networks, IoT M2M communication platforms, network middleware or routing systems, dialers, bot-based telephony and compliance automation layers. If a platform routes, processes, transmits, or manages telecom communication, it will now fall under the upcoming authorization framework. 3. Compliance alignment with DPDP Act and DPDP Rules 2025. With the notification of the Digital Personal Data Protection (DPDP) Act 2023, followed by publication of the DPDP Rules 2025 Draft Gazette, organizations handling communication data must ensure alignment with verified consent and lawful purpose, user identity assurance and routing traceability, lawful interception and national security compliance, audit records for consent and message delivery, breach reporting and remedial compliance, restrictions on cross-border storage and transfers, purpose limitation and privacy governance, telecom identifiers, phone numbers, headers, routing metadata, logs, templates are considered personal data, extending mandatory DPDP obligations to the entire telecom and digital messaging ecosystem. 4. Migration requirements for existing license holders. Existing UL/UL VNO authorization holders will be required to migrate to the new framework once notified. Transitional alignment may include reclassification of telecom service categories, submission of new compliance documentation, technical architecture disclosures, security and lawful interception testing, consent-based communication audit trails, infrastructure approval and validation. Non-compliance or delayed migration may result in suspension of services, loss of numbering resources/access, enforcement or penalty actions, blocking of commercial communication routes. 5. Advisory and regulatory assistance available. Support services are available for readiness assessment and applicability mapping, filing and documentation for authorization, migration of existing licenses, TRAI DLT header, template and messaging compliance, lawful interception and security architecture alignment, DPDP Act plus DPDP Rules Implementation Framework, ongoing regulatory monitoring, advisory and audit coordination. This ensures smooth operational continuity during and after the enforcement of the new framework. 6. Summary. This transition represents one of the most significant regulatory shifts in India's telecom and digital communication governance. All service providers operating via cloud communication platforms, API-based messaging, telecom integrated software, voice, SMS automation infrastructure, must prepare to align with the forthcoming authorization-based regime and privacy-led compliance expectations. Failure to prepare in advance may risk service delays, disruption, non-compliance penalties, or eligibility restrictions under the new Telecom Act framework. 7. Consultancy and engagement. As these regulatory changes evolve, expert guidance becomes essential. To ensure readiness, clarity, risk protection, and smooth compliance alignment, Pushpin, we invite organizations to engage our consultancy services for support with authorization filings, migration planning, DPDP alignment, telecom security compliance, and regulatory governance implementation. Our experience with telecom policy, licensing, regulatory frameworks, and compliance execution enables us to assist entities smoothly through this transition. For consultation or next steps, email rkmeta2051@gmail.com. Telephone receiver contact 9,899,006,599. Telecom regulatory compliance.